Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Today we will be talking about Lord Dakshinamurti and understanding the first verse from the Dakshinamurti Stotram. It is a very worthwhile topic to study, but it cannot be done in the space of the time that has been allotted for these talks on Shankara Vyakhyanamala. So we will do as much as is possible. But first we have to look at what is this Dakshinamurti? Who is this Dakshinamurti? And why Adi Shankara was so enamored by Lord Dakshinamurti? What is it that he saw in Lord Dakshinamurti that he was inspired, almost compelled to compose these verses, which are the essence of Vedanta, which unfold the essence of Vedanta, which are the essence of Vedanta? What made him do this? What inspired him to do this? Dakshinamurti is a form of the Lord. In the Hindu tradition, we are not shy of forms, because every form is his form, or if we say goddess, her form. We are not shy of forms at all. All forms are forms of Bhagavan. And here, Dakshinamurti is a form of Lord Shiva. We generally say Bhagavan is mother, Bhagavan is father. We invoke Bhagavan generally as mother and father. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva. Here, the Lord is invoked as teacher. Then we have to ask the question, teacher of what? Teacher of Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya, the knowledge that are non-separate from the Lord. That knowledge is taught through the teacher. In our tradition, we have the teacher-student tradition, unbroken lineage. The one who was a student becomes a teacher. There is no permanent studentship. Generally 12 years of study, like that we say. After a certain amount of exposure to the knowledge of oneself as Satchidananda, limitless consciousness, source of all existence, one becomes a teacher. And so this is what is called the teacher-disciple parampara. From the teacher, the student gains the knowledge, becomes the teacher, and then teaches other students who also gain the knowledge and who are all free of what we call samsara, afflictions, sorrow, fear, guilt, pain. All this is samsara. This is how the tradition is, and in this we have the question, a very important question: who was the first teacher? And to that we say, the same one who was the first mother, the first father, mother, who was? It was Bhagavan. Everything has come from Bhagavan. And this whole Santati, this Prajatantu, what we call, has come from Bhagavan. And so the first teacher is also Bhagavan. How do you know there was a first teacher? Because you are here. That's how we know. You as the student, as the Shrota, as the listener is here. You are here, and then therefore that means there is a teacher, because you have these questions about Dakshinamurti and you are interested in knowing about Adi Shankara, etc. And so if you are here, that means the teacher is here. If the teacher is here, that means the teacher's teacher is here. Not physically, but there, it is there. In the tradition, it is all there. So that is Lord Dakshinamurti. And everything about the Lord has significance. So we have Lord Dakshinamurti. In the name itself there is significance. Dakshina Abhimukha Murtihi Yasya Saha. The one whose incarnation is south facing, whose embodiment is south facing. This is one meaning. South is the direction of death. Lord Yama reigns over the south. Generally, people want to avoid death because one wants to live forever. This forever is that which one already is. One is already forever, not knowing that because of Atma Ajnanam, one is away from this knowledge. That's why one is afraid of Lord Yama, afraid of death. North is moksha. Therefore, as a human being, I always want to face the proverbial north, which is the site of redemption from samsara, liberation from all ills that assail me. I don't want sorrow, I don't want limitations, I don't want guilt, I don't want hurt, I don't want fear. And so this is why I face north. Lord Dakshinamurti faces south so that I can face the teacher. And Lord Dakshinamurti eats up all that is signified by the south because he is an embodiment of knowledge. This is the first meaning of the word Dakshinamurti. The second meaning is Dakshinascha asau amurtascha. That which is Dakshinamurti, that is there. So Dakshinascha asau amurtascha. So Dakshina plus Amurta, again Dakshinamurti. So the one who is formless, essentially formless, and yet non-separate from all names and forms. This is what we are talking about. And here the word Dakshinaha means Dakshaha, who is clever, who is competent. Clever and competent in what? In cutting the cords of samsara. How to cut these cords of samsara, which entangle me like an octopus, never letting me go, and the more I try to get out of it through my actions, the more entangled I am. This is what happens. So Dakshinamurti is the one that cuts the cords of samsara through the scissors of Atmajnana. Scissors of Atmajnana, which unfold the fact you are nothing but the whole. You are nothing but Bhagavan. And that itself cuts the cords of samsara. Therefore, this is the second meaning, and the one who is essentially formless. Satchidananda Atma. It has no form. Atma means I. The one who is in the form of I, which is free of all limitations, this is what we call Dakshinamurti, which is not having a form, whose teachings is adept in cutting the cords of samsara once and for all. Once cut, it will not grow back, and it cannot even be tied together with a knot or anything like that. And so this is Lord Dakshinamurti. The form itself is replete with meaning. We also call Lord Dakshinamurti as Ashtamurti, the one who has eightfold forms. And so we see that it is made of stone or even wood, which signifies the earth element. And then in the right upper hand, he has the fire, wielding the fire. In the left, the other way around. In the left upper hand, wielding the fire. In the right upper hand, Damaru. Fire is another element after earth. Then we have Damaru signifying space. He carries the Ganga Mataji on the head. And so that signifies the water element. Then we have the air element, which is suggested by a tie, by the dreadlocks, all these jata being tied up. with a kind of a ribbon tied up. That is a nod to the air element. Then we have the earth, water, we saw, fire, space, and then what else have we left out? Earth, water, fire, space, air. We have finished all of them. And so, and then the lower hands also carry something. One of them carries a book of the Vedas, which is on the knee, the left hand, and the right hand is in the form of Vedantic sign language teaching. It's called Chin Mudra, Chit plus Mudra, a mudra of immortality, a mudra of the whole essence of Vedanta. If we make one sign, it would be like this. And interestingly, in India anyway, if one wants to say the food was very good, they make this sign. How was the food? Wonderful, superb. So very, very interesting. There must be some connotation there. And so he makes this sign, and this sign again is the teaching. What is it teaching? That which is in the left hand, the book of the Upanishads. That is what is taught through the lower right hand, making this sign. This is called the accusing finger, always pointing fault at everything in the universe. It's your fault, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's you. It's never my fault, it's always somebody else's fault. Blaming the whole universe. This is the ahankara finger, the finger signifying the I notion. Then the I notion is very comfortably entangled with and one with and identifying with the body, mind, senses. Some people say sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, karana sharira, grow physical body, and then what else? The subtle body and the causal body. Doesn't matter, however we take it. This is better, body, mind and senses, because this is where the ahankara lives, and the ahankara is very happy being identified with the body. I am as good as this body. Dehe nashte aham nashtah. If the body is destroyed, I am gone. Dehe pushte aham pushtah. If the body is nicely nourished, I feel nurtured. This is ajnanam. This is the manifestation of gross atma ajnanam, self-ignorance. So this is the ahankara that needs to be taught. First, it's made to bend at the feet of the Shastra and the Guru. It is made to be bend. It's made to bend and disidentify from all this by saying that is not you. Yes, you are non-separate from all of this, but you are not any of them. They are non-separate from you, but you are not any of them. You are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the senses. And what are you? You are this, whatever is signified by the thumb. Thumb usually we take for granted. We don't even like it very much. It is neither slender nor long. It is fat and short. And we think, what is there in the thumb? But try picking up something from the floor without using the thumb. It is not possible. Why? Because the thumb lends functionality to the hand, just like Brahman, the truth of the universe, lends functionality to this whole universe, including this jiva, this individual, including the ahankara. Satta spurti pradhanena, by giving its presence, by lending its presence and its sentience, consciousness, it allows the whole world to be functional. The whole world shines because it is shining in the borrowed light of Atma, Brahman, Brahmatma. And so the ahankara is made to bend, and then it is told you are this Brahman. Tat, this is Tat, this is Tvam, and the sign is Asi, and if you look at it sideways, it is infinite. This makes a sign of infinity if you look at it sideways. And so this is the teaching. And then if we say, oh, is this all that is to Dakshinamurti? No, 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 there is more. Because we have only covered the first half of the body and not even. Ashtamurti, 5 elements. And then on the forehead there is the sun and the moon, the two celestials that we come into contact with every day. 5 plus 2 is how much? Oh, what is the eighth? You who is looking at the Lord, make the eighth aspect, the eighth element. Without you, the Lord is incomplete, because you indeed are the Lord. That the whole persona of Dakshinamurti shouts this out, declares this. Therefore, we have Ashtamurti. Then at the feet of the Lord, there are 4 sages. They are old and elderly. Vriddha Shishya Gurur Yuva Chitram Vatataror Mule Vriddha Shishya Gurur Yuva. Look at this wonderful picture under the banyan tree. Here is a permanently young Guru, embodiment of youth, surrounded by elderly disciples. Look at this picture. And what is this picture? Why are the disciples elderly? Because they have paripakvata. They are ripe for this knowledge. They have been there and done that and done this and been here and done this. They have had all the experiences and all the time in the world to come to the conclusion that this alone matters. This knowledge alone can transform me. Nothing I do in this universe is going to help me to cross samsara, because where is samsara? Here. So, right here is needing to be fixed, nowhere else. And this is what the students are. That's why the students are elderly, not in age but in experience, and having had many experiences. We can even say many lifetimes they have had, and then that is why they are ready and ripe for this knowledge. Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara, and Sanat Sujata, 4 of them. And then again, at the foot of the Lord, underneath the right foot of the Lord, there is a being that looks like a baby. And you say, what is this? The Lord is stepping on a baby? And then you look closely and you put on your glasses to look closely. And then you see something very interesting. It's not a baby at all. What is it? It is a small, truncated dwarf Rakshasa. Rakshasa, demon. A demon which is in the form of a dwarf. Because it has mustaches, even though it's got a baby body, it's got mustaches. And then what else does it have? It has a dagger in one hand, offensive, and a shield in the other hand, defensive. Like a ninja. Always defensive. Anything you say, no, I didn't do it, it's not me, whatever. So who is this apasmara? You. Oh, I am not a demon, I am not a baby demon. No. But the jiva is, in every jiva there are 2 components. One is the adult, seeking knowledge, mature, full of all the qualifications, replete and endowed completely with the qualifications. The decision, Purushartha Nishchaya, I want this knowledge, and all the accoutrements that go with it, a resolved mind, not interested in all other things, focus, a devotion, Shraddha towards the Shastra and the Guru, letting go, Uparama, and not coming under the spell of anything, forbearance, Titiksha, all this the adult has. But along with the adult, there is a child, so to speak, a truncated, dwarfed version of the self. This is the inner Dvaita. No matter how much Advaita one studies, if the inner Dvaita is not addressed, then one will always see two in place of one because there is an inner split. This is the problem. Therefore, the very form of Lord Dakshinamurti goes about to heal this inner Dvaita before even showing the unfolding the truth of the Jagat, the truth of all the Jivas, and the truth of Ishvara as one. It is within the Jiva itself there is a split. That split is the basic split between the adult and the inner child. The inner child is a disappointed being. The mother and the father, whatever hurts there were, it has been wrongly internalized. And then there is pain, there is sorrow, this pain body, this body of unprocessed pain is called the Jiva. This is what happens. And then, as a result of this, we have the problem of samsara, the vision of duality. Everybody is out to get me. Why? Because I have unresolved issues in the form of this Rakshasa. It is called apasmara, the one who haunts through memories. One who haunts through bad memories, difficult nightmares, so to speak. Why did this person do this to me? And this is upheld for centuries. In fact, this is the, what is that? This is the raw material of all Bollywood movies. This is what it is. Boy meets girl and falls in love. But the parents of the boy and the girl, they are in a feud with each other for 400 years. And now the situation is such that nobody even knows why they are fighting. This is how it is. The grudge is upheld. That grudge is this inner child, apasmara. That is the inner Dvaita. That this taking Sharanagati, taking recourse, taking Ashraya in Lord Dakshinamurti, that is what it heals. That is exactly what it heals. And therefore this apasmara is not killed off. We have to be very careful, because we immediately, when we think of Bhagavan and we think of asuras, rakshasas, demons, what do we say? Oh, the goddess killed this demon. Mahishasura Mardini, she is the killer of Mahisha. This goddess Durga, she does this, she does that, he does this, he killed Tarakasura, and like this we have all these Puranic stories. This is one asura that is not killed. It is integrated into the adult. How? By knowing that this is what it is. This is the lonely child, the child who couldn't understand, the child that suffered neglect, the one that suffered pain, the one that suffered sorrow. All that is just kept suppressed by the unconscious, which is Bhagavan. This Bhagavan, Bhagavati, out of compassion, makes the child forget all this until it is able to deal with it as an adult. And then as an adult, one is able to sit with it, process the pain, do yoga, study the Shastra, do whatever it takes, write it out, talk it out, do whatever it takes to come to a place of oneness within oneself. The inner child is still there, but it does not keep pressing the button and pushing the buttons that you never even knew you had. And this is the beauty of apasmara and how compassionate Lord Dakshinamurti is. Just keeps the collective unconscious under the feet and tells us also what to do. We have to say, heal. Don't trouble me now. Later on, I will help you. Heal, Heal. This is the beauty of it. So, is this the end of the embodiment of Dakshinamurti? Lord, not quite. Because we find that in the persona of the Lord, there is Ishvara and Ishvari. Left side is Ishvari, goddess, feminine. You see a different earring, the kind of earring women used to wear. And then the right side is Ishvara, masculine. So we see a perfect balance of Shiva and Shakti. Lord Dakshinamurti is neither masculine nor feminine, but is Ishvara along with Shakti. And this is what, and you see how even listening to this much, the mind becomes calm. Even listening to this much, even sitting and listening to what Dakshinamurti is, immediately there is a tranquility one enjoys, and there is a kutuhala, a desire to know more, which is exactly the reason why Adi Shankaracharya Bhagavat Pada composed the Dakshinamurti Stotram. So we will just look at one particular verse just to get a little taste. This would be called as the appetizer. Just like when you go for lunch or dinner or something in a multi-course lunch, certain things are called starters, appetizers. The appetizer is not supposed to fill you up. That is its specialty. If it fills you up, then it's not called appetizer. Then it would just be a meal. What's the point of calling it appetizer? An appetizer is that which makes you hungry, which gives a little taste and makes the tongue want more. Here, except the organ with which we will be enjoying this verse is not the tongue, but through Shravanam, through the ears. And the ears, listening to this, will definitely want more. And so, we have to study this in detail. This is just a little appetizer because that is what the time that is there has been allotted will allow us to do. विश्वन्दर्पण दृश्यमान नगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतम् पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोत् भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये. This is the first verse. There is some dhyana shlokas before this, but this is considered the first verse, and the dhyana shlokas could have been composed by the students of Adi Shankaracharya, or it could be a later interpolation. But this is what we consider as composed by Adi Shankara. So, last line we will take first because this is the refrain in every verse. So, Tasmai Shri Dakshinamurtaye, Shri Gurumurtaye, Idam Namaha. Idam Namaha. This salutation, Idam Namaha. Unto whom? Shri Dakshinamurti. Shriyayuta Gurumurtaye, Shriyayuta Dakshinamurtaye. The one who is non-separate from Shri, who is endowed with Shri. As I said, the Ishwari is included in Ishvara, and the one who is of the nature of abundance. And we already saw what this Dakshinamurti is, the word Dakshinamurti and its twofold derivations. So I will not repeat that, we already know that. So unto this Lord who is called Dakshinamurti and who is in the form of a teacher, Gurumurti, who is the embodiment of Guru, this salutation I offer. Then the question comes, who is this Guru and what is this Dakshinamurti like? Then the one, so if we do if you put it in prose form, this is what it will be. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam atmani mayaya bahihi उद्भूतम इव यथा निद्रया पश्यन् यः प्रबोध समये अद्वयं स्वात्मानमेव साक्षात् कुरुते. As you can see, it's not easy. So it is terse. This verse is terse, but with the Guru's grace, we can understand it. It has to be unfolded. That is why it has to be taught. And so I offer this salutation to Lord Dakshinamurti, who is in the form of Guru, and who is this teacher who clearly knows what? That non-dual self, who clearly knows his own nature, her own nature as the non-dual Brahman. When does he know? Upon prabodha samaye, upon waking to the truth of the self. It is like the whole thing is presented beautifully in our Puranas. Lord Shiva is in deep meditation, the eyes are fully closed. Parvati comes into the picture in the story, and then the eyes half open. That is the Jagat. In relation to the Jagat, one has awoken. In relation to the Jagat, one knows, one is awake to the truth of the Jagat as myself alone. This Jagat is not separate from me. The one that teaches that is Lord Dakshinamurti. What are you talking about? How can this Jagat be non-separate from me? Just now I had a fight with my neighbor, one can say, because they were always coming and, putting all their refuse in my bin. I tried to tell them, why are you using my dustbin for your dust? Go find your own dustbin. So just now I've had a nice talk with them and gave them a nice lesson in how to be a good neighbor. And I'm coming and you are saying that this whole Jagat, including this annoying neighbor, is nothing but myself. How can you say this? This is impossible. This whole Jagat is within me. Well, therefore, there are two drishtantas given. Drishtanta means examples. Two udaharana. Two drishtantas are given. One is this, Vishvam. The word Vishvam itself is amazing. Vividha pratyaya gamyam iti Vishvam. Vividha pratyaya gamyam. That which comes to me, which is known to me, gamyam, known to me by many, many cognitions. I hear a sound. Oh, that's a maina, the name of a bird. Oh, I hear something else. That is the sound of the Ganga flowing very, very fast. Oh, I hear something else. Those are drums. There must be some puja in an ashram nearby. That is what it is. And then, oh, I see something. This is red, this is blue, this is green. The variegated Jagat comes to me through different cognitions. That is why it is called Vishwam. Here already is the connection between myself and the Jagat through the sense organs. So you see, it is a kind of non-separate. I am the one who says this sound exists. And then we come to this age-old idiom, or I don't know what to call it, but there is a saying, if the tree falls in the forest, will it make a sound? And if you're a physicist, you'll say, of course it will make a sound, because that is the law of physics. If something is falling, if this much weight, that much velocity, and moment it crashes the sound, crashes the ground, it will make a sound. You can even predict the decibels, how much sound it will make and for how long. If you are a scientist, you can do that. But then if you are a Vedantin, you go a step further. You just tap the scientist on the back and say, what have I missed? Well, is a sound when there are no pair of ears to call it a sound. Can you call a sound without ears? This is magic. You make the whole world disappear. Without you, there is no world. It is totally dependent on you. While seeing the colors, while seeing the sights, while seeing everything, you make it disappear. That is why it is called Vishwam. Already the setup is there. And then the first, what is that, Drishtanta, is that of a mirror. Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam. It openly says it's an example. Tulyam means Tulana, it is an example. And then Darpana Drishyamana Nagari means that supposing we have, let's say in a city by the river, you just put up a big mirror, huge mirror, think of the biggest mirror, and you don't watch the city, you watch the mirror. Then what do you see? You see that there is a street, traffic coming and going, people busy, and then what do you see? The river is moving with its own speed, people are enjoying a walk by the river, and then you see the sky, there are some clouds, and oh, there you are, you are also there, and your house is there, your family is there, and then you are seeing other things also. You are seeing the day go by, day turns into noon, noon turns into evening, evening turns into night, and then again the city is being reflected through the light of the moon. First the city was reflected again through the sun, now it is the moon, and strangely you can see the sun and the moon also there, two such lights, one by one they come, and you see this entire city. And then what? There is a difference between the city and the mirror. The mirror city and the mirror, what is the connection between them? No connection at all. If it rains in the city, does the mirror get wet? No. If supposing the city is polluted, you see pollution because people have been driving too much. What is that called? Smog. Smog is coming and it is all just crowding everything. Is the mirror dirty? No. The mirror neither gets wet. If the river has a big wave or if it rains, the mirror does not get wet. And if the city is polluted, the mirror does not get polluted. Mirror is between the mirror and the city, there is absolutely no connection. All that the mirror does is reflect the city. That's all it does. It doesn't do anything other than to reflect the city, and that is itself fascinating because what kind of a reflection is it? It is Nijantargatam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam. Where is this reflection taking place? Within oneself. The mirror signifies the Shuddha Chaitanya. Shuddha Chaitanya, that sentience, that awareness which made me say, if a tree falls in the forest, will there be a sound? Well, is a sound that is generated, is a sound without a pair of ears? Is it sound to call it a sound without a pair of ears? Not possible. So that ear is also not the author of the sound. The ear is simply the faculty of hearing. The faculty of hearing is lit up by that Atma which as though morphs into the faculty of hearing without becoming the faculty of hearing. And the same Dakshinamurti Stotram is going to say later, Nana Chidra Ghatodara Sthita Mahadeepa Prabhabhaswaram Jnanam Yasya Tu Chakshuradhikarana Dvara Bahispandate Janamiti Tameva Bhantam Anubhatyetat Samastan Jagat Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namagidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. A lovely example of an earthen lamp over which a pot with many holes is gently closed like this. How many source of light? One. One source of light, but then it goes, let's say the pot has 5 apertures. The light shoots off in all different directions, appears to be 5 without really becoming 5. So too, the sense organs appear to be 5 in number, but they are only one. That light of consciousness, that light which I call I, the self-revealing Jyotisham Jyotihi, the light of all lights, which brings everything to light, which doesn't need to be itself brought to light because it is in the form of light. That, as it were, transforms into the ears without undergoing any change, transforms into the eyes without undergoing any change, cognizes objects of sight, sound, everything, taste, touch, and smell. And then I become the knower. I say, Janami, I know, I know, I know, I know. The same way, what is it that I know? I know the information that these sense organs brought to me. And so the ear goes out and brings this noise and the sound, and the eyes go out and bring this. And where is this? Where is this being reflected? Within myself alone. I am the cognizer, never the cognized. I am not the object of cognition. But that object is not outside of this I. The I includes both subject and object without being either. This is the beauty. This is really what the whole purport of this is. The Jagat seems outside, and the sense organs, because they are it is the objects are cognized by the sense organs. Bahihi eva. It looks as though it is outside. But when I say pot, there is a pot forming where? In your head. First it is there in your head. So it is Nija Antargatam. So what is outside? It is, why is it seen as though it is outside? It is seen as though it's outside, even though it is reflected within, just like the city in the mirror. It is seen as though it is outside because of Maya. Vikshepa Shakti. The Shakti to project, that is what she does. Ishwari, Bhagavan's Shakti, knowledge. She who is all knowledge throws this magic, Vikshepa. And then that Vikshepa is what I see. I see mountains, I see trees, I see rivers, I see all kinds of things. Where? Right here. Nija Antargatam. It's not outside of me. In the beginning we say there are only 2 things, subject and object. Object Anatma, subject Atma. But this is just a initial lesson. As we grow in our inner maturity and preparedness, we see that what we call object is not really there at all. It's non-separate from the subject. It is an as though appearance outside. There is no outside, inside, because space and time are included in this projection. We just have to say outside, inside, so that we don't, we have something to hold on to. That is why we use the words outside, inside, but space itself is part of this projection, this Vikshepa. Time is part of this Vikshepa. Everything is part of this Vikshepa. And where is this? Where is everything? Where is it resolving? Within oneself. So now the city is facing the mirror. The mirror is facing the city. Let's say they turn the mirror away. What happens? No city. No city at all. Nothing. And that is oneself alone. So the one who comes to know this, when? Nidraya, the one who prabodha samaye, the one who awakens from nidra. Here, nidra means two things. In the Darshtanta, in that which is exemplified, it means the ajnana. When one awakens from the sleep of ignorance, that is the meaning. But here in the example, it actually means dream. Nidra should be taken as swapnavasthayam, in the dream state. So in the dream state, somebody gave you lot of money. They had won the lottery ticket. Why did they give you money? Because they knew you will never win the lottery even in the dream because of prarabdha. So they gave you some money. And then what happened? You are carrying this money, going to the bank. Where? In the dream. Dream money, dream friend, dream lottery, dream bank. And you're banking on going to the bank. And then what? You are waylaid by two robbers. Oh no, a wonderful dream is turning out to be a nightmare. And they catch you. One of them catches you from the back, the other one takes the money away, and then they throw you down and run away. Then you wake up. You just realize that you have fallen from the bed onto the ground, onto the floor. And after a moment of just coming back to yourself, then you look. No robbers. Nobody set upon me. Nobody tied me up. Nobody tackled me and threw me on the floor. But alas, no money either. No bank, no money either, but doesn't matter. At least there is no robber, no money, no bank. All this was what? Everything was within me. The dream Jagat was just projected my own fears, my own apprehensions, my own memory, my own desire. This becomes these become the ingredients for the projection of the Jagat. And then it is equally cleanly withdrawn. I don't see the robbers, thank God. I don't see the rope which they tied me. I don't see the road to the bank. In the dream I suffered a concussion, but my head is fine. There is no concussion. It is all nija antargatam, nijantargatam. I am just looking at it as though within. It is as though, because of Maya, the whole Jagat is as though separate from me, as though neighbor, as though conflict, as though words are exchanged, harsh words are exchanged, and as though I have made up with them, all as though everything is just this non-dual Advitiya I, which when I wake up to the truth of myself, I see the universe as though manifested outside, connected to my sense organs, which is really within myself. Like even a dream, the city is seen as it were in the mirror. So the teacher unfolds this. The teacher who unfolds this, the Lord Dakshinamurti, himself, herself is Brahman. The teacher unfolding this is Brahman. And to whom is it being unfolded? To Brahman, the student. So what student? Within. What teacher? Within. Everything is within. And this is what is called Indian magic. Indian magic. You don't need long sleeves to put some cards there. That's why they say you have the cards up the sleeve. We don't need to wear long sleeves to show there something is inside. Nothing is inside. The world is however it is, wherever it is. While looking at the world, we can make it disappear. This is the power of Vedanta. This is the power of seeing through the vikshepa of Maya. We don't have to do anything to the projection. It is Ishvara Srishti. It is enjoyable when we know it is a projection. When I know the city is reflected in the mirror, it is much more enjoyable if I look at the city thinking it is real, thinking it is to as satyam as I am. The only thing that is Satyam is this Satchidananda Brahmatma. Everything else is a dependent reality. The city depends on me for its existence, for its transaction, for everything. Just like the city in the mirror depends upon the mirror for its existence, similarly, the city or the whole Jagat depends on Atma. Atma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Somebody said this, a clever saint said this, and this is a very good quote to close this talk. So a clever saint said, Brahman alone is Satyam. Jagat is Mithya, enjoying a dependent reality. Who am I? This Jiva. Jivo Brahmaiva na aparaha. Jiva is Brahman. Nothing other than Ishvara is this Jiva. And this saint is very clever. Ardha shlokena pravakshyami. I am going to tell in half a shloka. What? Yaduktam grantha kotibhihi. That which is unfolded in manuscript after manuscript of Vedanta, I am going to tell you in half a shloka, and that is how he composes this. And so, with these words, we will close this talk. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Om Tat Sat.